Hello everybody, welcome back. More Motorsport Manager coming your way now. Ernie's Paradise has reached the 10th event as we make our way a little deeper into the second half of the year. For the last several races, in fact for most of the season, we've been maintaining a lead of about 60 points, give or take. It's been going up and down some, but it's been pretty stable since a good start to the season. We're working on the front wing development, and we're working on trying to improve the current parts that we currently have. But you can see our car continues to slide. It is now actually considered slightly below average. Well, no, not slightly below average, but less than half as good as the top teams. Just above average. So we've got to continue hitting that with everything we've got to make sure we can hold on to this advantage. And of course, it's only Steinman now that we're worried about. Nobody else is close enough to be any kind of a threat. Okay, XBC Sport. Engine seems to be holding the team back. Is it true? I'm just going to say she needs to button it. She took that well. And Wexler, of course, winning. Chapman and Schmidt. So, it wasn't our best day, but we did okay. Now, what do we want to boost for Tondela? Well, we want to boost the gearbox and the front wing. We're going to stay away from the front wing because we're developing a new one. So that's kind of pointless. Let me see where we're at in that development. Refresh my memory on that. Yeah, we've built three parts. Got a couple more to go. So we're just going to leave that be, and we're going to focus in on the gearbox. And yeah, switch these guys up. Okay, so we have enough to do the gearbox. What happens? I mean, obviously it's not gonna, we're not gonna get it all the way there. I want to get these just about topped out. There's actually very little work to do here, actually. They are pretty close. So I'll wait till they're almost there, and then I'll throw in the engine along with them. I think that's the best plan here. I don't think we have any reliability issues at all. And there's our front wing. So I believe we're going to design now the first one that we actually want to use. Yep, we got 5 slots to choose from. So what things do we want to use? Max performance instantly upgraded. That would be nice, but I'm still going to go for peak performance here. None of those are too exciting. I don't care about qualifying. So a lot of these basically suck. Plus 20. Plus 10 with increased reliability. Minus 10 red zone. I like the look of all of those. This is a good one. And this hits the reliability, but it's still nice. Yeah, that's only ultimately going to be worth 20. It's still better than this one, though. So the reliability is going to tank, but we can get this all the way up to 1159. And I don't think there's anything else that's better. Because this is plus 20 to max. This is minus 20 to max, but plus 40. So that's probably better. Hang on. Nope, it's still going to max out 1159. Because this gives a plus 40 and then subtracts the 20. So this is actually better. Takes a little bit longer, but it's better. Okay, I think that's what I'm going with. And then let's see how 1159 compares to what we're using now. Yeah, over 100 point gain. It's not a huge gain. It's going to help us some. And not too excited about our car. I think we can go for, yeah, that should do it. Okay, they've opened a wind tunnel. I don't care. Excited about our first place standing. And now, yeah, we're 1 point down on each of those. So let's definitely throw the engine back in there for some improvements. And also that rear wing. And we're not going to get close to boosting those, but we'll get them as far as we can. Look at our brakes. Our brakes are maxed out. And our suspension is close. So those are really the other two parts to concern ourselves with. Okay. "62 laps. Boy, is that going to be long. Very low chance of rain. It's a short track. So a little over a minute, if even that much. The gearbox is the key. Scuderia Rossini have the best. Super soft, soft, and medium. And Nikolai Surikov wants better brakes. Well, we're working on the front wing now. I mean, might consider doing the brakes next. We'll see. Now, our gearbox is 4th, but it's near the top. So with that being a key part for this track, I mean, it's the best part that we could ask for, so. Oh, you're going to whine about the money we're spending. Go away. Scuderia Rossini figures to be favorites, and that would be fine. They can do as well as they want. Chapman saying it's time to start reeling sharp in. Well, good luck with that. And Javier Vazquez is whining about his team. Oh, we have publicity opportunity. They want to use Zoe Sharp in upcoming media campaigns. And I'm just going to say no, I don't really need the money. So let's see how our car is doing as we head off. Seems to have improved slightly, still 5th. Engine's still in 8th. Let's see, 4th. 6th on the brakes, still above average. Front wings are 4th, 4th, and 8th on the rear wings, even though they have gotten closer up here. They're just a hair above average. So let's take a look at how we're doing in here. Yeah, those are still 1 point down. The engine, we did get most of our improvement there, as you'd expect. Worked on that more because those are the ones that needed it more. And really, our improvements to the engine are not catching us up really at all. We might have caught up a tiny bit over the gains that we're making, but mostly we're just keeping it from getting worse. So, I mean, I was hoping to get more of a gain than that, but it's not happening. Gonna keep with this. I don't think we're good enough to aim for first place. And this is definitely going to be medium tires on this track. That's for sure. And with 62 laps, I know we're not going to use the supers, so I'm just going to go with a fourth set of mediums, knock it down to supers. Because with us, unless there's, the only way it would happen is if there is a sprinkler situation, and we'll still have enough to use one for practice and one for that. So that's what I'm going to stick with. We are up to 7th and 8th, though. Last time our prediction was 8th and 9th, so either we've made a slight bit of progress, or more likely they're just basing that off, well, we have a competitive gearbox, and that's the key item here. Hot weather was predicted for Friday for the race, and hot weather is certainly what we're getting. Whoops. That's a crucial part. Two crucial parts today. Puts us back up to 420, and actually need to remember well, I'll adjust it later, but I think Zoe Sharp is going to have that ability to ignore the red zone, which I'll drop it lower on. I'm going to double check that later, make sure she's still got that. I can always change the weight stripping, and I don't care where we finish in practice, so definitely going to start on mediums, a wise choice. Looks like lots of downforce, lots of steering control. I'm going to actually throw in a little bit more downforce here for Camille Piaget. But it also looks like maybe the speed up there. Let's try that out. 7-0 and 4-1, so very different form levels for our two drivers. Most drivers also starting on mediums because they have a brain. It's looking, this is a shorter version of Tondela for the most part. It's skipping that whole loop over there. And I do remember this being a little bit longer track, so that explains why it's going to be shorter this time. Bunch of cars on super softs. Unless you're starting at the front, that doesn't make any sense. We got Chapman, Holtz, Wexler, Saarinen, all of our key competitors doing that. You can be starting in the back with us. 62 laps. I don't see that. You know, not much rain expected. I don't see that being a good option. So no complaints about the car so far. Wexler in 105 early on. So yeah, this is going to be a track, probably lap times around 110 during the race. It's still going to take a while, even at that pace. It's going to be well over an hour race, but it will go by pretty quick. And It's not like Phoenix where you're just racing around like crazy, or Milan. It's not that fast of a track. It's just really short at less than 2.5 miles. And Tire Champ's definitely going to dictate that we come in here. Sharp wants more downforce, so we'll work on that. And so does Piaget. So both of them saying higher downforce. And already level 2. So we nail it on the handling for Sharp, and that gives her a 77. But wants quite a bit more downforce. Try 7.8. And speed is only okay, and since acceleration was recommended on this track, let's pop that there. Maybe a little more. Try that first. See how it goes. So we'll switch to softs. And then Piaget will stay out on mediums and finish that up. Only 70% here. Switch you down to 8. Actually, a little higher. Let's go to 8.3. That's a lot of downforce. But let's try a little more oversteer. A little more acceleration. Maybe a lot more acceleration. Yeah, let's try something like that. This is probably a bit far, but we'll see. It's close enough to give it a whirl. Both of them come out almost exactly at the same time. Sharp getting the upper hand, as you might expect. We're not going to be able to stay out long on these softer tires. Without slowing down, at least. So it's going to be a lot of quick ins and outs here, I think. Level 3 race trim. Sharp liking the new downforce. And so does Piaget. Excellent. We'll go ahead and bring Sharp in for some more tweaks. Also like the speed balance. %. Well, that's awfully good. We're not quite there on the downforce. So we went from poor to great. Let's tweak this just a bit higher. Go up to 8.2. And this was not quite right either. Okay, so we went from okay to great. Yeah, we want a little bit more acceleration as well. So let's work that in if we can. That's just a tad that way. That might be a little far, but we'll give it a shot. Back out on softs. And Piaget doesn't like the new handling. Well, you were coming in anyway. Not quite there on mediums, I don't think. Oh, no, we did. Okay, we can switch to softs then. 87%. Still more work to do. Poor to great. Try tweaking that a bit higher. We went from good to okay. So we want more... want understeer to be basically at the end, almost. And not sure which way to go on the speed. Let's see how that rolls for us. About halfway through practice, and at the moment, looking pretty good. We can speed this up again for a bit. Sharp liking the speed. And we'll bring her in after this lap. Improved handling, so we're gradually getting it in there. Speed is still not quite there. We've nailed the downforce though. We're still at 97%. So we probably made the speed worse because this was 97. We improved the downforce. So I think what we want to do is bring in more speed. Like that. And we'll come in after this lap. Coming with both of them actually, because I didn't notice that we'd hit the mark on supers. Oh, downforce is a problem. Good on everything else though, 96%. So we were at poor. Great. And that was the wrong way. So let's go back to 7.9. Then we'll see where these end up. That's a little bit closer. Switch to supers. And here comes Sharp in for her next set of tweaks. Speed balance still not there. Still 97%. So great, great, and great. Most likely between those two. So if I go there, yeah, I've got to find, let's see if I hit this. Where do I want to be at? There to there. I don't know if that'll still be on excellent, but I'm going to give it a shot. What if I... So I need a... Where was this supposed to be? I wanted that at 8.2. That's the thing. I've got to... Okay, let's start here then. Well, I still had it at 8.2. I went back to there and was tweaking. That's what I did. Okay. So we've got to bring this up. And that helps it a little bit. I just want that little bit more, but I don't know if I can... Let me try that and see if this, you know, if that's the right balance or if I got to try to do something else. It's so tight right now. I just need that little bit more, which gets annoying to try to get. And Holtz goes under 105. And let's come in after this lap. Both drivers. That should give us time to get one last reading. Great downforce, excellent everywhere else. 98% is closer. We haven't hit downforce right on yet, so that's poor. We're great at 8.3. Good at 8.7. Great at 7.9. So let's go right in between the two grades. And that's probably going to throw this off a bit. What happens if I come back like... I think that's a better attempt. And Sharp with a much improved time. Whoa, 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 whoa. Putting her up in 9th. And here's why. She's at 99%, so you can just go right back out there on that. Finally hit the bullseye there. Just got to get the second car dialed in for Surikov. We're going to hit level 2. And there we go. Well, you can't complain about triple excellence, triple purples on both cars, that's for sure. And at least Sharp got up to 9th, about a second off the pace. So that should at least keep the fan whining down to a minimum. Well, this is now the third attempt at the Tondela race, and it's a little bit troubling because Steinman has just sort of been blowing by the field fairly early, going up to the lead, and both times they would have finished first and second. And even last race, you know, we only lost a few points to him last race. The race before, Sharp won. And this is a race that should be fairly favorable for us because of our pretty strong gearbox. But they're really blowing us away, and it's a little bit too early in the season for that. The first time I went with medium tires, and that caused a problem because this really isn't a good track for that in terms of spacing out the stints. It's just a little bit too long. So I would have to stop twice anyway instead of stopping once. And get through like 58 or so of 62 laps. Just can't quite get there. So then the second time, I went with super softs and then a pair of softs, which is sort of the best 3-stint combo, I think. and trying to keep up with them early on in the race. Not only couldn't I quite keep up with them anyway, but then as soon as I came into the pits, shortly afterwards, we had sprinklers. And so that sort of ruined my whole strategy. So things have really got to go right for me in this race to even stay, to not lose like 30 points or so, lose like half the lead. And that's pretty concerning. Hopefully it doesn't continue on that way, but we're really going to need to try to milk everything we can out of the rest of this season to have a chance of holding on to this lead, it looks like. So let's see if we can do any better on this attempt. And of course we're going to push it to the limit again with Sharp. We're going to go with the softs for Surikov. That'll be what we're doing most of the race on, barring a whole bunch of rain. The fuel amount is 44, taking off 18 laps of it for this. And last time, I'm going to go a little more aggressive with the tires. They do heat up very quickly. Last time I only went flat out for one lap, then went down to neutral. I'm going to try to go the second lap on push, but that does mean that I'll have to back off the tires a little bit sooner in terms of going down to conserve. So we'll see if that is actually going to be a positive thing for me at all, or if it's just going to cause more problems. Trying to maintain a balance between staying up with everybody and being able to get what we need to out of the tires. And there we're up to 720. Okay, now at the back of the field, we got Chapman, a 4 on used tires. Sharp is looking good, Surikov decent, Holt's pretty good ahead of us on a full set. But again, we should be able to get by people using the faster tires. Unfortunately, it really hasn't worked out great that way. So let's see what happens with this attempt. Bit of a slow start for Sharp, decent for Surikov, and you can see Chapman pushing up. Look at that. Oh, Chapman going wide. Boy, that's just such a shame for Chapman to have a bad start like that. And look at Surikov just pressing up and like multiple rows, 3 wide. But wow, great start for Surikov, already up into the top 10 and looking for more. Sharp not moving up much, starting to look for it though. Surikov 6th. And Holt's down in 17th. Holt's not good. Okay, so we've got a really fortunate situation where they're having some bad luck at Steinman. So this may be the break we needed. Sharp up to 15th and 16th. But right now we're ahead of both of their cars, and that has definitely not happened on any of the previous attempts. I don't know how long it lasts, but I'm going to take it. Surikov fighting now for 3rd. Incredible, but Sharp still stuck down in 16th. But Surikov going nuts here, and now we have to switch down to neutral. So we'll see how long that lasts. We're going to go, even though we're going to get a little bit into the red, I'm going to do another lap on neutral just to try to absorb a little bit of that early push by everybody that they like to go super aggressive on. Sharp up to 12th. Chapman 14th. Holt's down in 17th, 16th. But here's Surikov looking like he's going to be the race leader. Trying to chase down Jenny North. And now we'll go conserve both cars, because I don't want to overcook the tires. I can't can't be too crazy with it. But Sharp up in 9th, still ahead of both of the Steinman drivers. So I don't know what is going on in this race that made it so much better than the other attempts. But I'm not going to argue with it. Of course, again, we are using softer tires than them, so we really need to get ahead of them. But even that has not been enough previously. Sharp still looking for that spot. There it goes by Gonzalez up to 7th. Surikov in 2nd and fading with the conserve strategy. But still has a second or so lead on Samuel Blanc. And North, I think, being a little more aggressive. Yep. Surikov driving at a 6. Sharp at a 6.8, so all of that is good. And Sharp right now looking for a spot past Vidal, if she can find it. Complains that she can't and then gets it. Up to 6th. So Steinman has no points and we have 28. Yeah, they were beating us like, you know, having the top 2 spots, so having 43 when we were lucky to get 8 to 10 previously. Of course, it is very early, but I'm loving the way this race is going. Now Surikov making headway against North. And Sharp looking at the next spot, which is Flores. Temperature on the tires not going down that fast, so I'm not ready to push them up again yet. We're going to be alternating between conservative and neutral here to try to get the most we can out of them. And there's Sharp getting to the inside. Not quite able to hold it though. Chapman in 13th, Holtz 16th. They're really not moving up much at all. Again, that's just not the way things have gone in the previous attempt. Now Sharp is 5th. Surikov hanging out about a 1.5 seconds back. Now closing it up. And we're close to having enough tire temp to give this a whirl. Sharp not pulling away from Flores at all here. And alright, let's go after the lead now, Nikolai. I'm going to hope that Sharp can hang on back there. Now Flores fading a bit. Surikov staying pretty close, but not really closing in to the point where it looks like he can make the pass. Jenny North is holding her spot pretty good here. Driving even a little bit more aggressively than we are. And Sharp does make it up to 4th. Well, temporarily. Let's go neutral and make sure we see if we can get that back. Should be able to on this straight, I would think. Yep. Fake to the outside, go inside. 4th position. And Surikov has now taken the lead as North fading rapidly. Let's go conserve for a bit here with Sharp. And let's definitely conserve with Surikov. I mean, may be able to stay out there longer on these tires if we can hold that lead, which is now growing to over 3 seconds. I think Surikov probably just wants to stay on conserve at this point. And Sharp will go back up to neutral, try to get by Samuel Blanc, whose tires are fading. Holtz in 12th, Chapman 13th. They're starting to move up some. I keep looking at that and being like, how did they stay down that far? I mean, they've had the top 2 spots by about this point in the race both times before. The first time was much faster than this. And they're probably still going to be faster than us later, almost certainly will be. But the thing about it is we've built enough of a lead that that may not matter so much. Okay, now we're going to go conserve again. And Surikov almost a 7-second lead. I'm just going to stick with conserve on him, keep him out there as long as I can. And we'll just ride with Sharp, who is... Okay, North, I was just going to possibly bump it up, but North putting on the speed burst there, so we'll just wait. Another nice thing about the setup right here is Surikov is far enough ahead that we can pit both of them on the same lap without stacking the cars up, which has been a problem in the recent past. It would really be nice to get by here with Sharp, but we're not quite ready to make a full push at it. And North is going fast enough. Though those tires are really starting to degrade. I think we're going to be getting it soon, but we're not stacking up behind her, so... There we go, going into the pits. Okay, well, yeah, we'll just run conserve with both cars then. Get a little bit more out of these tires. That'll let us run the softs. Well, no, because the softs are still going to overheat on neutral anyway. So yeah, probably better actually just to get the speed, now that I think about it. Go neutral with both. 9-second difference. And then it's another about 9 seconds from Sharp back to Chapman and Holtz, the only 2 cars that matter in this race. Let's go conserve now and see if we can get like the rest of this lap and one more. So we're coming in after 17 and hoping there's no rain in the future. It means we've got to get 45 more laps out of these 2 softs. And we will definitely stay conserve for now. Yep, and it might have been pushing it a little bit to get this extra lap out of these. Be interesting to see where everything shakes out after everybody pits. Surikov in. He's going to come out in second, just behind Oliveira. We'll go neutral here and try to get that spot back right away. Sharp falling back a lot further. But also with a car in front to pick on in DeGraaf. So we still lead Steinman at the moment. and they'll have to come in. But they could be going for a one-stop strategy themselves. Lots of cars using up their energy to just burn it with the speed burst. Sharp looking for a way around DeGraff, who's about to come into the pits either way. So unfortunate that we couldn't find that path. And now we'll have to try to chase down Saarinen. Surikov fading behind Oliveira, which is unfortunate. Oliveira is driving a little more aggressive, but has slower tires that are much more worn. So it is concerning. Chapman coming out on softs. Holtz staying out there. Chapman fading back, so we're definitely ahead of them and on the same tires for now. Sharp now going to set her sights on Saarinen, then Holtz, Lipinen, all of which running on fairly worn medium tires, so I definitely want to try to stay up. Well, there goes Saarinen using a speed burst. Let's conserve here for a bit. Or not. Can we get by? No. That's aggravating. Definitely want to conserve here with Surikov, who is not gaining ground anyway. Actually losing it quite a bit. And by now we had the rain last time. It could still be coming. The sprinklers could still be coming, but if it waits long enough that we're close to the end of these tires, then I'll be fine with it. And Sharp not able to get by, so we're just going to switch to conserve. And be frustrated with our spot here in 7th. Holtz still not coming in. So optimally, I'd like to make my next pit stop at around lap 40. Schmidt is the latest to come into the pits. Sharp trying to get by now, even on conserve, as Saarinen tires really starting to fade. Let's go neutral here for just a bit and try to get that pass. And then we don't lose it around that turn, even the chance to make it. Okay. Time for our drivers to go hybrid. Up to 4th and 5th, and I believe it was Holtz that came in. Yeah, 10th and 12th now for the Steinman drivers, as they are gradually moving up through the field. But 30 points to 1, I'll take that. Almost halfway through the race. And even if they get by us or whatever, I mean, it sure doesn't look like we're going to finish near the bottom of the top 10. So we still get some significant points. But we also do have a pretty good lead on them. Sharp with about 12 seconds over Chapman. Surikov back in first as Oliveira pit. I think staying conserved for him is definitely the play because we want to make sure these tires last long enough. Both of them at 71% and we've gone 9 laps. We want to get another 13. Can be 40-some% more. Yeah, I think that we're going to want to try to stay on conserve and keep the temperature maybe around medium or a little bit below in order to get the full distance that we need to get out of these. I don't think we can keep it up near the top and still make that happen. And we'll switch back to harvest. And Lipinen going to come in, the last driver to hit the pits, putting us up to first and third. Lipinen going to go super soft. That's an interesting choice. Just below the midpoint of the race. Obviously going for a third stint there as well. So it doesn't look like anybody is really saying I'm going to do this in one stop. Everybody's stopping twice. And our driver form continues to be pretty good. Sharp at 5.7, Surikov at 6.6, and a 10-second lead. That is only growing. And I'm definitely going to retain the option to try to get Sharp by Oliveira if it presents itself. Right now it's not, so I'm just going to stick with conserve. We're maintaining. Well, Holtz is now up to 7th. They're 7th and 9th, but the gap between Sharp and them is what's important here. And right now it's about 10 to 12 seconds. Roughly what it's been for a good part of this race. And this lap right here is the halfway point. And yeah, first and third give us 42 points. They'd have 8. So a race that was a disaster the first couple times, and I didn't do basically anything different strategy-wise for this one, is looking pretty good. And even if they came out, even if the sprinklers started now, I'd be able to, switch to mediums after they were done. If it was a short period sprinkler or whatever, we've gotten a good amount out of these tires, so pitting now would not be a disaster for me, given the position we're in. Everybody else would have to pit too. I don't think the rain, unless it happens like right after we pit the next time, I don't think the rain can ruin us. And Sharp, again, fading compared to Oliveira, so we're just going to sit here and conserve. Right now we want about 7 or 8 more laps at minimum. Drive a little bit faster once we get a little closer to that mark. As it is, Surikov still gradually extending the lead, it looks like, by a bit. And Oliveira has fresher tires, so trying to catch her is probably not the best move for Zoe Sharp. And Blanc going in again as the pole sitter for this race. Due to him having a terrible season, has to repair and fades towards the back of the field as usual. Oliveira now making some gains on Surikov, or was for a bit there, but still over a 10-second lead. And Holtz got by Lipinen, now using the speed burst. So they're starting to close things up now. They've got 10 points. And we'll take another tour at Hybrid. And I could go neutral now, but I think I'm going to wait another lap. I want to see if I can squeeze out and then maybe only pit on 41. Just get another lap out of these tires. No sign of any sprinklers coming. There still is time for them. And now we'll switch. Just try to get a little more speed out of these last few laps. Oliveira has now cut it back. Oh, hold on. There we go. Now we got sprinklers. Okay, what are we going to be dealing with? I think we're dealing with inters. And we're going to go conserve here so that we have enough tires to get to the point where we'd actually really want to come in. So, I mean, that's borderline, but I think inters are going to be better than dries. And how long will we get off of those? Inters 18 to 20. If we're going to go onto them... Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be able to have inters last the whole period, is the thing. So we're probably going to want to just stick out here for as long as we can. See if we can make that happen. But this is really quite good timing for us for the rain to happen. Switch back to harvest. Surikov, of course, making his way through traffic. Has lapped a couple of drivers. Not yet. Nope. Not yet. And I think what I want to do is wear these tires down a little bit extra, and then I'll have to wear the inters down a little bit extra at the end of those also. So I just want to try to make this without having to throw an extra stop in there. This is lap 42. Like, we want to stop after lap 43. We'll need to get 19 laps out of the inters, which is a little bit much. And then these will also be a little bit into the red. You can see Oliveira continuing to catch us. Now we'll come in. Chapman going inters now. What about Holtz? Holtz staying out there. You can see Moreno is on inters and going faster than we are. It's getting wet enough that it would be dangerous to stay out on regular tires anyway. Let's start out neutral. Sharp out in fourth. Surikov second. Good distance behind Oliveira, but we're going to track that down pretty quick. Yeah, I think we want to be on conserve with that much of a distance. What about Sharp? Okay, Sharp has made the pass. Awful. Okay, yeah, definitely go conserve now as well. Let's take a look at those parts of yours. Yeah, nothing's below the upper 20s. You're fine. And in this weather now, with weather, you know, we should be able to just fly by even using conserve here. Yep. So Surikov back in the lead. Sharp third. You can see Holtz and Chapman fourth and fifth. Holtz is not going to go anywhere, but Chapman only 8 seconds behind Sharp. So that's going to be a thing to watch. And I think I definitely want to keep Sharp on conserve and then be ready to get more aggressive later. Again, saving the tires during this stretch is going to be huge, because we got to have enough to get us to the finish. And now Sharp past Oliveira, so we are in the top 2 positions. We just need to hold them. That's 45 points. Steinman with 20. But, I mean, even if Chapman gets by Sharp, we're still going to win this race. This is going to be a huge result compared to the way we struggled. And also, getting an increased points lead will really help us run out the clock here at the end of the season. So as annoying as it was to restart this race a couple times, it's really going to pay off. And Chapman is definitely catching Sharp. There's no question about that. That gap is almost down to 4 seconds. And there's still 15 laps to go. Going to get slightly wetter. Inter's definitely the best choice here. Let's see how Chapman's racing. Basically the same way we are, but still catching us. So I will go to push and neutral when that happens. And the track is flipped over from damp to wet. 13 laps to go. And we'll take our last stint on hybrid. Well, last one before we run out the remainder of our fuel anyway. And Chapman fading now, perhaps stuck in traffic a bit, appears to be the case. We are as well here. I'm going to just do this now. There we go. Ten laps left. The lead is holding at about 3.5 seconds. Or not lead, rather, but the gap between Sharp and Chapman. And Holtz is down in 10th. So yeah, that would really help us do well. We've lost that fastest lap bonus, taking us down to 43 points. But Oliveira just got it, and that would be fine. Okay, we definitely need to go up to neutral now because our temps are getting a bit low. Chapman gets it under 3 seconds. And currently, no traffic between us. Less than 2 seconds now, Chapman behind. 7 laps to go. And now Chapman using a speed burst to get even closer. Whoa, we need to switch to hybrid. I'm actually late doing that. Alright, I'm going to have to watch that fuel and I'm not going to be able to push. That sucks. Whoa. Chapman's burned out his tires and is going to pit. Well, that takes care of it. We're just going to go low here to make sure that we have enough fuel. Because I was probably about half a lap or so late in making that switch. That's going to knock Chapman back considerably. And we just need a limp home now. Five laps to go. And Chapman now 13 seconds behind after the pit. Will make up some of that time. But I don't see any way that he makes it all up. And there's Holtz with the new fastest lap. So that puts that in Steinman's point total. But still, I mean, a 20-point win here would give us our biggest lead yet. Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory here compared to the first couple of tries. Now Wexler takes it. Very nice. Zoe Sharp with her best lap of the race despite being on low. That's interesting. And now the track is drying out, but anybody else who wants to go dry tires will have to pit again, which would sort of defeat the point of them doing it. Let's drop back to conserve for these last few laps. We are going to get into the red. But with 3 laps to go, we should have enough to go neutral. Or medium, rather, on the engine. And Sharp slowly catching Surikov here, but not enough to make a serious run at it. Nikolai Surikov definitely going to be the man in the winner's circle. And keep his spot in that second-tier group of drivers behind Sharp and Chapman. Could very well move up to 3rd position after this. Yeah, we know. Just keep right on going. There's nothing else for it. And Nikolai, go ahead and take your victory lap. You earned that with your great start to this race. Really wearing down the tires now, but we are in the last lap. Chapman still almost 10 seconds behind, way too far to make a challenge. Holtzen 7th, and barely going to make it on those tires. Just sitting at, 10%. Humble. Nice. Real humble. A driving genius. But I will take it. You know what? Get a little cocky about yourself. Because that's a great win. It's going to go a long way towards locking down this title for Panther Race Team. And this race, as much as any that I've done, really just proves it's better to be lucky than good. And after the parts check, Javier Vasquez loses 2 spots, which is going to help Holtz. Harry Chapman gets the fastest lap, but we're still winning this by a solid margin. And Surikov passed Wexler up into with a decent margin here also, up into third position overall. An 84-point lead. Oh, just a hair under 2 races worth of points now, with 6 to go. Now, that's not an impregnable lead, but we'd have to have consistent disasters the rest of the way to not win. Feeling much better about this. And everybody talking about how great we did. It only took 3 tries. So the usual improvements, everybody's happy. Marketability doesn't change despite winning, that's annoying. 6.0 for Surikov. That's his second best of the year after Vancouver. And Sharp's 6.5, her second best after Phoenix. So both drivers turning in a strong performance. Plus, we got lucky with Steinman getting off to the bad start. That's what this is down to. More money coming in. And still a struggle keeping everybody else up with the car. We're in 5th still, just above average. But we're getting to the point where that's not going to matter that much anymore. We've got another front wing that's going to be finishing soon. We'll be heading off to Milan, where I expect us to struggle mightily with the speed there. But really going to have to start running out the clock here. Only 6 races left. So when we come back on Motorsport Manager, off to Italy, where we'll try to lose as little of our lead as possible. I think will be the approach. Continue improving the car and move one step closer to victory on the Ernie's Paradise Challenge. Till then, thanks for watching. We'll be back soon.